Hey, here's a quick tutorial about the basics of causal. Suppose we run a business and we want to create some simple forecasts for our company. Let's build a model to do that. The first thing we're going to do is just hide this chart section on the right because we don't have any charts yet, so we'll click on Hide Visuals. Now suppose that our company currently has 100 customers. We can make a variable in the input section, we'll call it initial customers, and then we'll press Tab to set the value, so Tab, not Enter, and we'll give it a value of 100. Suppose also that we want to assume that we grow our number of customers by a certain percentage each month. We can make a variable for our growth rates. We'll press Tab, and maybe we think this is going to be between 5 and 10%. In causal, we can actually just write 5% to 10%, and causal will treat this as a range going forwards. Great. And we also generate some revenue per customer, and so that'll be another assumption, and maybe this is $50. Cool, so we've got some basic assumptions, and now we can start doing some calculations. So the first thing we want to work out is our number of customers in each month. So we'll make a variable for customers, we'll press Tab. And this is where things are a little bit different to Excel and Google Sheets. If you think about what we want to do here, we want to take the number of customers in the previous month and we want to increase that by the growth rate each time. And so in causal, if we actually write out the word previous, it'll let us reference the number of customers in the previous month. We can press Tab or Enter or click on this to add it to the formula. And then we want to multiply this by 1 plus the growth rate to increase it by the growth rate each month. It looks like causal still thinks there's 0 customers in every month, and the reason is because in April, which is the first month of our model, there is no customers in the previous month. There's no previous value, and so it defaults to 0. So we just need to tell causal that in April alone, we want the value to be equal to the initial customers variable, and from May onwards, we want to use our formula. And so if we single click into April, so single click rather than double click, then when we type in our formula, initial customers, it'll only apply this to the April cell. And so if we now see what's happened, we have a single formula for April and we have a different formula for the rest of the months, and our calculation is working as we expected. So single clicking lets you set a formula in a particular month. Double clicking will select the entire period and would change the formula for the entire period. So there's a distinction between single clicking and double clicking, which is really important. So we've got our customers. We can now work out our revenue. This will just be customers times revenue per customer. And finally, we can maybe just work out our profit based on some profit margin. Maybe it's 25%. And we'll create a variable for profit, which will be revenue times profit margin. Great. You'll notice there's these 3 different sections by default. There's the input section, the calculation section, the output section. These sections are just there to help you arrange your model in a way that makes sense for you. And so, you can rename these sections. Maybe we'll call this, model. If you wanted, you could add sections using this button. You can remove sections. The input section is special, as we'll see in a second. So anything in the input section will appear in the presentation dashboard that we're going to create. And so we recommend putting any hard-coded numbers in the input section. Let's just quickly create some charts. So we can right-click on revenue and create a line chart. Right-click on customers and create a bar chart. And if we wanted, we could select these 3 variables and make a table. So now we have a model, we have some charts. There's a few configuration options. Maybe we'll make this full width. And once we're done, if we click the Present button, we'll see the interactive dashboard view of our model, and anything in the input section will appear up here at the top, and anyone viewing this dashboard can play around with these numbers in a safe way to see what happens in different scenarios without any chance of breaking anything. So that's the quick tutorial. We have videos on all of the other concepts in causal in more detail, so do check them out. Enjoy.